What's up everyone and welcome back to the MMA Zone. Today, let's get started with Khamzat Chimaev gets exposed for taxes. Reports recently surfaced indicating that two-division contender Khamzat Chimaev had received his United Arab Emirates citizenship and as a result would no longer be representing Sweden when he steps into the octagon. While many fans questioned why Chimaev made the decision, a report emerged from MMA Uncensored that indicated Chimaev disagreed with Sweden's Freedom of Expression Act and less taxes. Outspoken former UFC vet Jake Shields praised the decision as a smart one, writing, "I'm no fan of Khamzat, but this is a smart move. Now he will pay zero taxes and have freedom of speech." Of course, Chimaev is currently gearing up for his highly anticipated showdown with Paulo Costa in Abu Dhabi next month. The bout will be his first time representing the UAE rather than Sweden, and will see the streaking two-division contender look to cement his place in the middleweight title picture. Shout out to our first comments on yesterday's video. Thanks for the support. Next up, let's take a look at Michael Bisping responds to Backlash. At UFC Vegas 79, Bryce Mitchell was left looking frustrated with Hall of Famer Michael Bisping after he seemingly refused his request to allow Dan Ige to pray inside the octagon following their bout. Although Bisping didn't address the situation on the broadcast, he broke his silence on the awkward moment via Twitter while responding to a fan who weighed in on the matter and suggested that it wasn't Bisping but producers who made the decision. After the fan wrote, "I'd assume Bisping has the producers in his earpiece telling him Bryce's mic time is over." The former middleweight champ responded, writing, "You're a smart man." After Mitchell lit Bisping up prior to the fight for supporting the theory of evolution and defending gravity, many fans were quick to joke that he likely was less than pleased with the Hall of Famer cutting his post-fight octagon interview short. Now let's shift gears and take a look at UFC Fight Updates. Dana White recently broke some massive news regarding two fights set to take place at UFC 296, including a clash between Ian Machado Gary and Vicente Luque. White broke the news on social media while also indicating that he'll seemingly have more fight updates for fans in the next few days.
I got another one for you. Vicente Luque versus Ian Gary. Number 10 versus number 11 in the welterweight division. This card is stacked. It is bad. Tickets go on sale October 20th. The card just keeps getting better and better. Get your tickets soon, and I'll talk to you probably in the next couple days.
The fight will see Gary look to crack the welterweight division's top 10 after recently defeating Neil Magny, while on the flip side, Luque will be looking to build on a recent win over Rafael dos Anjos earlier this month. The announcement drew the attention of Ariel Helwani, who wrote, "That card is amazing. Great next test for Gary. Kill Cliff on Kill Cliff violence?" referencing the fact that the two men have trained together in the past. However, as he pointed out in a follow-up tweet, Gary didn't train at the gym for his recent bout with Magny and will also train elsewhere for the upcoming bout with Luque. In addition, reports have surfaced indicating that Tagir Ulanbekov and Cody Durden will compete on the UFC 296 card as well. The fight will see Ulanbekov look to build momentum on a win over Nate Maness back in November, while Durden will look to extend a win streak that has seen him rattle off 4 straight victories since last summer. We also have an update on what might have happened to UFC lightweight Rafael Fiziev in the UFC Vegas 79 main event. According to David Abbasi, who examined Fiziev's left leg frame by frame at the moment of the injury, he believes the fan favorite tore his ACL and will likely need surgery that will sideline him for 9 to 12 months. After being taken to the hospital, Fiziev posted a clip on Instagram of he, Michelle Waterson Gomez, and Bryce Mitchell all receiving medical care.
Look, everybody here. What a business, yeah? What a business, guys.
Yes, sir.
The best business in the world. Everybody here.
When Fiziev will be ready to return, only time will tell. Now, let's take a look at Charles Oliveira gets called out. Mateusz Gamrot emerged from his main event scrap with Rafael Fiziev largely unscathed and is looking to remain active. Following the fight, he wasted no time calling out former lightweight champion Charles Oliveira, eyeing a contest that will allow him to test his grappling. Ahead of Oliveira and Makhachev's UFC 294 clash for the lightweight belt, Gamrot called Do Bronx out while speaking to media members post-fight, explaining that he believes Makhachev will emerge victorious from the upcoming rematch, opening the door to a fight between he and Do Bronx.
And in the next one, I would like test myself against Charles Oliveira because he is the most dangerous guy in the ground. My previous opponent every time stand up, like the ground is hot for everybody. But the next one I would like change myself in the ground, you know. I wanna show my really good skills in jiu-jitsu. I wanna show how good I am in the ground. And I think this guy will be first guy in my career who wanna fight with me in the ground, you know. And I know he has fight soon in the next month with champ. My prediction is result will be the same like last time, that Islam defends his belt. and I can wait to Charles Oliveira to the next year, and doesn't matter, maybe March, maybe April, maybe May.
With the lightweight title up for grabs next month, only time will tell whether Gamrot finds himself in a position to compete with Oliveira for the #1 contender spot, or the former champ is able to avenge his UFC 280 loss to Makhachev and reclaim UFC gold. Last but certainly not least, let's take a look at Leon Edwards' altercation. UFC welterweight champion Leon Edwards found himself involved in a heated spat with Bellator champion Johnny Eblen after the middleweight finished Rocky's brother Fabian Edwards. Following the dominant finish, Eblen stood over his opponent, screaming as the referee tried to give Edwards space. When the Bellator champ then took a victory lap around the octagon, he ended up involved in a verbal altercation with UFC welterweight champion Leon Edwards, which saw Eblen repeatedly tell the UFC champ, "You're next." Security guards were able to keep the two men separated to ensure nothing escalated, with Eblen then approaching both Leon and Fabian Edwards to shake hands with the pair once things had settled down. Following the situation, Eblen spoke to media members to give his thoughts on what transpired.
A lot of emotions, bro. I mean, his brother's a great fighter. I honestly hope he beats Colby. I fucking hate Colby. That dude sucks. But yeah, I mean, I want to fight him too. He's one of the best guys in the world, and I want to prove I'm one of the best in the world. And you got to fight everybody. Even he's not in my weight class, but I feel like he might go up to 85 eventually. But I went over after and I told him, hey man, sorry, my emotions were high, and I squashed the beef. I don't have anything wrong with him. I just want to fight the guy.
The win moved Eblen to 14-0 as a professional and marked his second straight title defense as Bellator middleweight champion. Rumors recently indicated that the PFL was no longer interested in buying Bellator, and as a result, the promotion could likely fold. Despite that, UFC President Dana White has made it clear that he has no interest in buying Bellator, meaning that the odds of Eblen landing on the UFC roster and fighting the UFC welterweight champ are very slim. Next up, let's take a look at Israel Adesanya pleads guilty. Former UFC middleweight champion Israel Adesanya has pled guilty to an August 19th charge of drunk driving leading up to his fight with Sean Strickland. According to local reports, the last stylebender made an appearance at the Auckland District Court this week while flanked by his lawyers and 2 bodyguards. According to court documents, which were relayed by the NZ Herald, Adesanya was charged with operating a motor vehicle while having a blood alcohol amount exceeding the legal limit. Although he could face up to 3 months in prison for the charge, on the lenient end, he could be forced to pay a mere $4,500 fine. The former champ provided a statement to the NZ Herald, which read, "I want to apologize to the community, my family, and my team for the decision I made to get behind the wheel after drinking at dinner. I was pulled over and gave an evidentiary blood test. The reading was 87 milligrams of alcohol per 100 milliliters of blood. I am disappointed with my decision to drive. It was wrong. I know that people might follow me, and I want them to know that I do not think this behavior is acceptable." He will be back in court on January 10th for sentencing. However, from the sounds of things, his lawyer is confident things will play out in the former champ's favor. The MMA community roasted Israel Adesanya for his recent DUI charge that he just pled guilty to. Here's what the fans had to say. "Becoming the John Jones he never wanted to be. Stylebender, I hope this is untrue. So he was drinking during fight camp. No wonder he looked like a rookie in the fight. He manifested it. Man, it really sucks to see great fighters fall to this level. People will joke about this, but it's just so disappointing that Izzy made the choice to be reckless. DUI crimes are hard to forgive, in my opinion. Can't respect people who put lives at risk with their foolishness."
Who hasn't drank and drive before? Is it wrong? 100%. Does it happen often? Quite often? 100%. Is he guilty? Yes. Yes, he is. When you lose your bout, and especially if you get a DUI, people will start turning their backs on you, or you won't be that hot stuff. You will be seeing your like comments kind of go down. But what that's called is called life, dude. And at the end of the day, man, continue to keep being that mixed martial artist. I wouldn't go down that route of becoming that bad boy. As a fighter, as a mixed martial artist, too, that we're all behind you, dude. And we hope that you don't, that this isn't a gateway to anything that could be anything deeper. Is the DUI, can you get somebody hurt? Yeah, 100%. I hope you just learn from this lesson and don't drink and drive, man. I can only tell you from my experience of losing a loved one, dude, that sometimes you use a substance to be able to get your emotions out.
After losing to Sean Strickland, the big question is where the former champ goes from here. While he could likely walk back into an immediate rematch, many fans have suggested that he takes some time off to enjoy himself after keeping up a busy schedule over the past few years. Bryce Mitchell sends a message to UFC champ Sean O'Malley. Here's what he had to say.
"I want to apologize to you, Sean. I want to tell you that the only bad thing I've ever said about you really is before your Jan fight, I picked Jan and I said that your YouTube following wouldn't win you the fight. And boy, was I wrong, because You lost that fight, in my opinion, and the YouTube following helped persuade the judges for the decision. That being said, that was an absolutely respectable performance against Jan. That was the fight that I knew you could scrap. And you looked damn good that fight, brother. You showed so much heart and courage, and I want to take my words back, and I hope that you could forgive me. If you want to meet up, have me on your podcast and accept my apology. How about that, brother? I bet you didn't expect that from this red hillbilly. Hey, brother, I'm glad we're finally seeing eye to eye. Thank you, man. All right, y'all take care.
Top comments. Be cool if Tony Ferguson got the W over Patty and retired. Mic drop. I don't know why people are acting like the Patty-Tony fight is going to be so one-sided. The 6 people that beat Tony would have destroyed Patty too. And the 6 people Patty beat would not have beat Tony. Someone responded with, exactly. Plus, Patty has no power to further give Tony brain damage. It's a winnable fight. LMAO, the Patty fan saying he would easily beat Prime Tony is funny. The only reason why this fight is even being made is because Tony doesn't pose the same threat of ending Patty's career as he once did. Tony has a better chance of beating Patty right now than Patty would if Tony was 35 still. Make sure to leave a comment and you might get featured in our next video. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed, make sure to subscribe and turn on notifications to never miss any MMA news. Check out our video from yesterday if you missed it. See you tomorrow.